All right. Good evening to everyone. Good evening to all our followers and viewers here in Philippine Star and Career Guide. My name is Boris Joaquin, and we would like to welcome you at Breakthrough with none other than Boris Joaquin. Yes, medyo nawala po kami for like a month or so, a month and a half, and but we're glad to be back. And it's probably a very interesting topic for all of you because we are preparing for two special themes. One is in November we're celebrating Children's Month, and in preparation for the new month in December, it's the time of giving, and we thought of featuring areas where we could actually be altruistic. I mean, pagkakataon natin magbigay, gumawa ng mga mabubuting bagay. So we wanted to feature a very special non-profit organization. And our guest for tonight is someone that would titillate or kikiligin yung mga fans tsaka manonood natin ngayong gabi. Not because she's beautiful and you would probably want to listen and watch her for the next 30 minutes, but especially for pageant fans, yung mga mahilig manood ng beauty pageants. And of course, the Philippine flag has always been raised in several global stages in different pageants all over the world. You know her because she was part of Asia's Next Top Model. She was a runner-up in that particular round, in that particular batch. And you know her for joining Binibining Pilipinas, and she joined and represented the country in Miss Intercontinental, if I'm not mistaken. And she was crowned first runner-up there. And recently, her title was Miss World Philippines. But there are new changes and development in her life. Friends, please welcome our latest guest in Breakthrough with Boris Joaquin, Miss Katarina Rodriguez.
Hello! Hi, Boris. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm so excited to catch up with you.
Of course, kanina, I don't know if I got my laundry list of achievements correctly, but I know
You did.
I did ba? I did.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I missed anything. Parang ang dami mong napanalunan na beauty titles eh. So, you have done the country proud. Pero I don't know if many of you guys know that Katerina is also the national ambassador for Save the Children Philippines, right?
Yes, Boris. So it happened um, because of pageantry and after Miss World. And I am actually the first ambassador for Save the Children Philippines, which is such a huge honor. And just a couple weeks ago, I re-signed my 3-year contract with them. So this is my second term as ambassador for Save the Children Philippines.
So you're the first, no? So right now we I think they also have like the likes of Lisa Soberano and other celebrities and other queens, but you were the first one. Um, why do you think they chose you? Of course, I should be asking them, but why do you think Save approached you first?
I really think so. In pageantry, many girls join, and they join for many different reasons, and there's no right or wrong reason. Um, but the reason why I continued my pageant journey, even though I could have stopped after Binibining Pilipinas, was because I really wanted to elevate my platform. Especially with a crown like Miss World Philippines or Miss World, you can do so much and give back, which is the topic of our discussion tonight, right? Is giving back. And I think with Save the Children Philippines, baka nakita nila yung sincerity ko during that time. And it was such an honor because for those who didn't know, in my Miss World journey in 2018 when I competed internationally, hindi ako pumasok sa top 30 or top 40 that time. I can't remember kung 40 or 30, which was a surprise to myself and to the Filipinos since I know I had the support of so many. So that it was a bit hard for me to go through that. But when I got back, I was welcomed by Save the Children Philippines, and they asked me that if I could be their first ambassador. And it was such a bittersweet time for me since I didn't enter the top 30. But when I came back to the Philippines, to my country, an organization like Save the Children Philippines had asked me to be their first ambassador. And it really changed my mood from the moment that they had messaged me, and just not even making it to the top 30. It was a heartbreak for me. And then when I came back and they asked me, changed my mood, changed my direction, gave me a bigger purpose, and reminded me as to why I joined pageantry in the first place, which is for the platform, for the advocacy, and for giving back.
I love that. I love that. I didn't know that. If you didn't make it to the cut, there's been an error. There's been a mistake. They probably do a recount. Do they do counts there? But but I that you didn't make it. But I love that bit of a story. It tells me that you're right. They are looking more than just maybe you are achieving an international title because you have proven yourself in previous competition, but they still approach you and they probably saw the sincerity, the authenticity, the genuineness of you wanting to be part of Save the Children, right? And how's
Yes,
the
yeah.
journey so far, Kat? I know I'm kind of jumping here, and I want to talk more about where you are right now, and we're going to reveal that in a moment. But so far, what are some of the things that you've been learning as the national ambassador, as a Save the Children advocate?
So many, grabe. Like from the moment I started working with them until now, it's just been so much information to absorb. And also being the first ambassador, you really work closely to the org and to the staff and to those who head the organization, because they're also trying to understand yung buhay ng artista or buhay ng beauty queen, because our schedules are so different. And it's a learning process, I think, for us both, for the organization and for myself. But minsan kasi they'll give me a script, and it's like a couple hours before the actual event, and the information overload. I'm like, oh my gosh, how will I remember all of this? But I manage, and I love it. I love it's trained me for work, actually, and also for life. It's trained me in being a mother. A lot of the support I got during my first pregnancy and even now in my second pregnancy has come from Save the Children Philippines. A lot of the information I know has come from them. What I practice, my values as a mother, and even my husband as a father, it stems from them.
You jumped the gun for me, but I think most people who are following you already know that. You all know that Kat is a mother of a 15-month-old baby, Kino, right?
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
but what I didn't know backstage before we went live, is she's actually pregnant with her second one. It's
Yes, yeah.
hindi lang po obvious dahil yung cut ng kanyang video hanggang dito, parang dalaga pa rin si Kat. But she showed us a while ago and she's very pregnant. 7 months, 7 months pregnant,
Seven
right?
months. Yes,
How
Boris,
was that?
7 months pregnant.
Let me just backtrack a little bit before we talk about your advocacy. So you're a beauty queen. Now you're about to become a mother of two. How's that life change for you, Kat?
Well, it was very crazy because from ending my pageant career to entering showbiz and then getting cut dahil sa pandemic, um, it wasn't something I thought would happen within the
Uh,
next couple of years. But due to the pandemic, I'm sure a lot of us had many life changes. And at that point, I think Nino and I were very ready, and we thought it's now or never. Kasi kung maghihintay pa kami, yun, babalik pa ako sa work. And then by the time I can have my first baby would be 5 years from now, 7 years from now. And I always wanted to have my first baby before I was 30, which happened. It's actually not something I think about or linger on to think about, because I don't know if emotional is the word, but I get so deep into thought. It's like a black hole na, oh my gosh, grab, I'm a mom. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a mom. And just the other day, I was so game to finally enter showbiz. So it's definitely a transition. Now some mornings I wake up thinking, sige nga, I'll just do it all straight. I'll have however many kids I wanna have or we wanna have, we'll just do it one after the other para tapos na. But then other mornings, I'm like, wait, gusto ko bumalik sa work. So how can I do both? And there's an
Yeah.
age limit for women for both, especially being a mother.
Mm.
And then in the industry also, right? There's a fine line for what age you can really be in this industry. So I just take it day by day, and I enjoy every moment of being a mom, and just let myself feel all the different emotions.
And what's beautiful about you being a mother right now, and it's really a beautiful revelation or development or evolution on your part, because in your advocacy, it's all about children. Now that you're becoming you're a mother and becoming a mother of two, how has your advocacy for Save the Children help you? I mean, in terms of I don't know, knowledge, perhaps wisdom. Can you share us a little bit about that?
It's helped so much. During my first pregnancy in 2020, actually, Doc Mads, who is the consultant for Save the Children Philippines, the health consultant, I flew him to Siargao, and one of the Save the Children Philippines staff, Lay, and they gave me so much information on motherhood. Like, for example, the first 1,000 days law, which um, it's actually passed here in the Philippines since 2018, if I'm not mistaken. But this one was like the foundation of of me being a mother. So it begins the day of conception until the baby's 2 years old. That's their first 1,000 days, and the first 1,000 days are the pinaka important na days for any human being, with nutrition, with health, with love, with how the first 1,000 days goes is pretty much going to not naman dictate the rest of a person's life, but it's the founding days. So that, to me, it spoke so much to me, and I made sure, like, during my first pregnancy and this second pregnancy, I eat properly.
Mm-hmm.
And they taught me that I should eat at least at least three food groups per meal, to make
Mm-mm.
sure I'm getting the proper nutrients. If, for example, you can't afford the prenatal vitamins
Mm-mm.
or the supplements, at least you're getting it directly from food, which is better. It's better to get it directly from food. Even talking to the baby while they're in your room and showing them the proper love, and having my own child, I can really see how important these infant days are till they're 2 years old. And you really want to protect them from anything that is harmful, from violence. You just want them to have the best days of their lives. And I think every single baby is entitled to having the most
Mm-mm.
relaxing, the happiest days of their lives. And it never resonated with me until I saw my son for the first time, and then that's when I knew this is a whole different ball game. I even my dedication to Save the Children Philippines, it's like on my top priority list right now compared
Mm-mm.
to before. I even messaged them once because I was in traffic, and there was a young teenage girl with, I'm guessing, was her baby, and they were knocking on
On your car
our
window.
doors. And I was
Mhm.
telling Nino, my husband, I was like, can I just get the baby? He's like, no, that's kidnapping. I'm like, yeah, but I'm so now ako sa baby, because it was like 2 p.m. The sun was like hitting so harshly on everything, and she was begging for food, for money, and I was like, can we just get the baby? He's like, no, that's considered kidnapping. And then I messaged my group with Save the Children Philippines, telling them it's the first time I felt this emotion. It's a very different emotion than what I felt prior. I suppose prior to becoming a mother, the emotions I felt were a bit more aggressive, or a little bit more I couldn't relate. I couldn't
Yeah,
relate as
kid,
well as
no?
I can now. Yes, and now it's so different. Now it's like, what if that was my baby? Or like, this baby deserves to not be under the sun at 2 p.m. and like how can we help this. There's just so many things that went through my head that would not have before.
Yeah, yung maganda sa sinabi mo yung ano yung awareness and being educated that your baby deserves this, and the baby has a right to be protected in terms of nutrition, nourishment. And alam niyo mga kaibigan, hindi lang to afforded kay Kat. Hindi lang siya para sa kanya. And that's the beauty of Save the Children. I think they're making this message and this education available to all Filipino mothers. Tama, Kat, di ba? Because that's the
Yes.
advocacy Save the Children is living by.
Exactly. And you can find out any information on their website. So they have it all there for free for anyone to see. And if you need help, you can contact them as well. They're very accessible on
Mm-mm.
Facebook, Instagram, on their site. I will actually the website, I'll read it later on in our discussion. But one thing also with Save the Children that I really appreciate is that no child is left behind. So Save
Mm.
the Children Philippines is always the first in and the last out to
Wow.
helping children. And in times of emergencies, you don't necessarily think of the children and how it's affecting them. So like if it's a typhoon or if it's a war, for example, which is the worst case scenario, people are not thinking of the psychological effect on the children aside from the lifestyle changes, because another important thing about kids is they really need a routine, especially babies.
Mm-mm.
You might not know that if you're not a parent, but when they have a routine, they like it. They like knowing what's coming next since they don't know so much about the world yet. So if they know, okay, itong oras, matutulog ako, and then gigising ako, tapos magdadede ako, like they might not know the words, but they know, okay, this is what's happening next. And it's so important to them. But when these things happen, those routines get taken away, that specific routine. Yeah.
I
So
like
there's
what
so
you
much
said.
that goes into it.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. I love what you said about them being the first in and the last out, because that's just an important idea to remember for somebody who's trying to help children. And we both know that Save the Children is all for promoting child rights and child well-being and protecting it. As a mother now, and maybe you can speak to other mothers out there, is there a program that Save the Children has that will help you as a mother to protect their children's well-being and generally care for children the right way? What would that program be, Kat?
So there's a positive parenting program that Save the Children Philippines promotes, which is as it is positive parenting. So their positive discipline, the importance of showing love to your child, even when you're trying to discipline them. And it's something that is it's so true because when they're as young as my son's age, 15 months, he learned something from so he learned this from his yaya. When he would fall or hit something, or like he'd run into something, then he would cry kasi masakit, diba? The yaya would hit the table or the chair and be like, no. And like I think it's kind of an old way to like make them laugh or something. But now he picked up on that and he's only 15 months. So now he'll go up to the table or the chair and he'll go, or he'll go up to me, and if he's giggle, he's gonna also hit me. And now we have to reverse that. And it's something that I didn't want him to learn. Of course, nobody wants their children to hit, even if he doesn't understand fully what he's doing. Bring so this is like my example of why positive discipline and positive parenting is so important, because as early as 15 months, he's a sponge. He absorbed that from her. And if I had known she was doing it, I would have told her, Nanay, wag na lang na, ganito, kailangan na, hindi pwede kasi, yun, he learned how to hit from her. just wanting to pacify him whenever he would fall or run into something. She had the best intentions, but um they're like sponges. They learn from you. They copy everything you do. And with the positive parenting program, it's really there to protect the child, protect them from harm and from violence, but also it's a domino effect.
Mm.
So by protecting them from harm and violence, you're also teaching them how to be positive, how to show love, or how to react with love instead of violence. And when if they know how to do that when they have kids or when they hang out with their friends, at least they're not going to react in a violent way or in a harmful way. Um, it's really the saying that it starts with our children. It really starts with our children, but of course, it starts with the parents.
Yeah.
So what
I,
the parents know, the children will learn.
ang ganda ng mga sinabi mo, no? Yun yung mga things na parents now should hear kasi otherwise they listen to their parents and or their grandparents and the tradition gets transferred and it's not necessarily good parenting, right? So how do people get access to positive parenting? Is it free online? Is that something that they could access?
So you can visit www.savethechildren.org.ph to find out where you can access any of this information. They have links to PDF files. They even have numbers you can call if you need to talk to someone, if you need advice. And also on their Instagram and their Facebook, there's a
Mm-mm.
lot that you can learn too. I know so many people. What I love with Save the Children Philippines, they're also very inclusive. Whoever wants to help can help in any way you want to help, whether it's volunteering, whether it's joining these programs, or simply practicing in your own life or in your own home. It's as
Mm-mm.
simple as that. People think in order to help, you have to do so much or give so much, but really, you can help just by starting from within your own home. That's more than enough. And also conversation. If you do end up on their page and you do end up reading about the positive discipline and positive parenting, you can open that topic as a topic of discussion to your friends who are also parents or going to be parents, and just share with them what you learned, as I just shared also what I learned. And it's so true. I'm always like, till today, and this is my second pregnancy, I'm like, oh my gosh, tama sila, tama si Doc Mads, tama yung mga natutunan ko sa Save the Children Philippines, they're right. And sometimes you miss information. No parent is perfect. So when you see something that your child does, like my son, where he makes palo at the table, I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're so right. I missed this, but tama sila. Like they have it all like perfectly laid out for you. And simplified, they have it in Tagalog, they have it in English as well. Yeah.
Ay, gusto ko yun, yung sinabi mong they have it in Tagalog. So just to reiterate what Kat was saying, you could access this on their website. But more importantly, I mean, since all of us are social media savvy right now, makukuha din natin yung mga information na yon sa The Pinoy Parent Facebook page. Meron din silang pwedeng PD, yun yung Positive Discipline, sa Facebook group. Gusto ko yung sinabi mo, Katarina, gusto ko lang i-ano yun, i-emphasize yun. And of course, your example is more on your very young baby, 1-year-old baby at that. Pero yung ano yung itigil natin yung practice of physical harm or yung pamamalo or yung humiliating punishment for children because we should allow what's your thoughts about that when you and then what's your experience about that with your baby.
Volcano's still quite young. I could never imagine making him palo, but I like how you brought up not embarrassing them. I think that's such an
Mm.
important thing to highlight, because nobody wants to be embarrassed, right? There's a time and place to talk to them. And although I haven't reached this point yet, I do think ahead and I observe my friends, and nakikita ko naman yung ibang kaibigan ko na mom already. If their child is having a tantrum, they just pull the child aside and talk to them and just kind of help them breathe in, breathe out. with Kino now when he cries, I tell him, breathe in, breathe out. But he's so young, so he's just looking at me like, what are you doing? But I'm already starting to get him to calm down. Kasi yung isang gabi last week, he threw a tantrum because he loves the walis. He's obsessed with the walis. He wants to make walis the
Sleep
whole
all over the
condo.
place.
Yeah, he's so funny. But it was dirty and he took a bath, so we were trying to distract him from it. But no, gusto niya talaga maglaro with the walis. So I brought him to his room, tried to calm him down, and what's hard kasi is kung may ibang tao and then you're getting mad at them in front of the other people. Syempre, that's gonna damage their what is it? I forget. I'm having pregnancy brain. It's gonna damage their what is
Their
the word?
well be
Their
mental well being.
their confidence.
Yeah.
Sorry, their confidence. It might harm their confidence for when they're older and they might think if I do something wrong, someone's gonna yell at me.
Okay.
And you wanna avoid those things. You wanna be their guide and their rock. But sometimes, I also lose my patience. Sometimes if I'm like breastfeeding him, his feet are everywhere and I'm trying to do something and multitask and then I'll get mad at him like, hey, like relax. And then I see in his face like he's listening, but there's no need for me to get mad. So again, no parent is perfect, but as long as you're conscious about what you're doing,
Yeah.
um, it will help. It will help and you'll improve. You'll improve along the way.
My goodness, time flies so much, Katarina. We don't.
I
I've been
know.
prompted to wrap up already, but there are some people who are posting on the comment section. Rosemary Garcia said, "No, no to corporate punishment. Yes to positive discipline. Check out the Positive Parenting or Pinoy Parent Facebook page to know more." Siguro, Kat, final message. One of the comments here wants to ask you, and I think it's a good final question. What is the dream of Katarina for the Filipino children now that you've been made aware of all of this for through Save the Children?
So my dream for the Filipino children is that they all have parents who look out for their well-being, who protect them from harm and from violence, who are aware of um, proper nutrition for infants and for babies and why it's so important because nutrition is so important. It's what's gonna dictate them kung gusto mo na yung anak mo maging basketball player, kailangan as soon as from conception alone, they're already getting the proper nutrients so they become tall, they become athletic. And I think overall, just building a better future for our Filipino children because if we're able to do this, then they'll be able to build a better Philippines, and that's what we want. We want to become stronger as a nation, and we have to invest in our children in order to invest also in our country.
I love it. Start with the children, build your country. Beautifully said. Kat, this is the season of giving is coming. Well, it is started already, but December is, and but giving comes in different forms and sizes. Not just giving money and stuff. It's also volunteering or supporting an advocacy. Final appeal to everybody who's watching right now for Save the Children.
So I have this saying where when you have enough and then more, that's when you give. Because some people, I think nowadays, they're under the pressure now. They really need to give something or donate to wherever. But it doesn't necessarily mean monetary. It can mean in time, it can mean in resources. And again, so just remember when you have enough and then more, that's when it's time to give back in whatever means you can. It could be if you have the platform on social media to share these information, then do it. You're already helping. And like I said earlier, it all starts at home. You're doing your part if you begin at home. And then from home, you can branch out. And it's the little things that count. It's the little things that, consecutively, it will build up to bigger things. So if you need to start practicing positive parenting, that's already giving back. You're giving to your children, and you're helping develop and expand our community, the Filipino community.
Love it. Very insightful. Thank you, Kat. Like what I said backstage, I think Save the Children Philippines found a gem in you. You are well deserved to
Thank you,
be the
Boris.
national ambassador for that international NGO. Thank you for being with us. We are delighted to have you, just spreading the love, the kindness, and shining your goodness to all of us who's watching and listening right now. Thanks, Kat.
Thank you, Boris. Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys, there you have it. Katarina Rodriguez. She is the very first national ambassador for Save the Children Philippines, and she had spoken very well when it comes to advocacies of motherhood, caring for your children, nutrition for children, protecting children, and right now she's part of Save the Children. And if you want to be involved in that advocacy as well, contact Save the Children at supportercare.ph at savethechildren.org. That's supportercare.ph at savethechildren.org, or you may call them at 02-8682 SAVE. 002-8682 save 7382. So if you want to support or help in any possible way, or even volunteer or share their advocacies, that's the way to go. Guys, this has been Boris Joaquin, and you just had another breakthrough with Katarina Rodriguez being our guest and talking about the genius of giving and her advocacy with Save the Children. May we all reach out to people who are in need, especially the children, in building the country, because if we do that, we might see a better future ahead of us, not just for this year, but in years to come. God bless you all. Thank you for watching.